What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. I'm your host, Dustin, singer, actor, Lewis, and I am here bringing you another review of Married to Medicine. Y'all, it's actually, y'all, these lips is greased up. Hold on. Bringing you another episode of Married to Medicine, season 11, episode 15. Y'all, this is the season finale. For it to be a season finale, ended okay. Like, I think the event was great, but I felt like just overall, it just kind of, I don't know. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I think because they had some episodes that was, Marriage Medicine was like knocking it out the park, episode after episode after episode. And this one, it wasn't a bad episode. I think it was great. It was good. It just, I think coming off the heels of like the sandbar and all of that, I don't know. Like, it just, I don't know. I'm still looking for that type of thing. So I'm really excited for the reunion. And I think we're going to get something good. But if you are new here, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you are returning, let me speak to y'all. Let me holler at y'all really quick. I want to give a big shout out to all of you because we are really growing this community and I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for coming back here, viewing these videos and supporting me. And we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep growing and we just going to keep expanding and seeing where we go. Seeing where we go, y'all, with all of this. So I appreciate y'all so much. So yeah, let's jump into it. So we have episode 15, Duchess Toya in her royal court. And baby, let me tell y'all something. I loved the way this episode started with the whole Lady Wisdom down, Georgia 10 type of feel. Really love that because I'm a huge Bridgerton fan. So that whole era was really dope with like the how Bridgerton kind of opens. If you haven't seen Bridgerton, go and check it out. But the way that they open this was kind of symbolic to how they open up Bridgerton, and I loved every ounce of it. So as we are jumping into the episode, we see Toya. Toya is inviting the event planners over to her home. And one of the event planners, if not both, I know one for sure. I think she did BB Judy's wedding. I think she did Portia's wedding. She's a huge event planner. So I think I follow her online. I just don't remember what her name or title is. But she's really dope, super talented. But y'all, was it just me or did Toya house look real hot? That lady was patting her head, baby. She was patting her head. The other lady looked hot and sweaty. Toya, cut the AC on. Now you got that big old house. It take a long time to cool it down. Have the air conditioner running. Have it cold. And then when the people leave, cut it off if you need to. But baby, you need to have the air conditioner running because some people look hot as hell. Now, Toya is talking to her about the budget for this event, which she says she doesn't want to go over 25K. I get it. I get it. I think for Toya, that's frugal. I think that's frugal for Toya because we know Toya will go over a budget in a minute. So I love to see her giving herself an actual budget. And they willing to work with her. Now the thing with Toya, where I feel like she is going to go over budget, when she got to talking about I want the champagne dress, I want the ballerinas, I want the belly dancers, I want the swans, I want the ice sculpture, I want the lobster rolls. First of all, Toya, lobster roll don't even go with this event. You got a Bridgerton event. They didn't eat lobster back then. Lobster actually back then, y'all, that was a poor man's food for those who don't know. Very interesting how that changed. But Toya, I feel like you're gonna go over budget. But I don't think she did. They didn't talk about it. I will say, y'all, we gotta give Toya her props. We went a whole season without them talking about Toya and Eugene finances, Toya and Eugene buying a house. Thank goodness that we went this whole season without them bringing that up because we're over that. So I hope we don't ever have. Y'all can bring it back maybe season 12. I don't know. But we over that for right now. So as they're having a conversation, they're like, do we need security? And Toya's like, absolutely, we need security because listen, we got two groups of people who don't know how to act. They get the cutting up and carrying on when they're on sandbars, and they'll probably get the cutting up and carrying on at my event, and I ain't having it. But she said that Quad and King did RSVP, so that's good to see. Now, as we are leaving this event, speaking of Lord, speaking of King and Quad, goodness gracious, we see a dinner or a lunch with Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg. We see the little lunch. Let's take a sip, y'all. Delicious. Now we see them meet up for lunch, and the thing with Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea is I feel like as a couple, they have a whole hard time holding themselves accountable, right? I feel like they evade accountability quite a bit. And I feel like towards the end of the episode, they started owning their part a little bit more. Both of them do it, let's be honest, both of them do. But during this, Sweet Tea is asking Greg how he's feeling. He's like, he feels hurt by the group, especially by the guys, essentially not supporting him. And I think the thing that Greg needs to understand is not that the guys don't understand where you're coming from. I think the guys just don't understand why you went to the lengths that you did to make this situation a bigger issue than what it is. You and this man had an argument. Y'all got in each other's face. I would say, I will give you that, Greg. He ran up on you. I get it. Y'all didn't get physical, so you wanted to press charges and file this police report. It seems a bit much, and I understand you being hurt because you feel like they're not rallying behind you, but they're not going to rally behind something that they don't support. And I will say this, when it comes to friends, it is good to have friends that support you and they'll ride for you, but they're going to also tell you when you're doing too much, they're going to tell you when you're wrong. And I think that that's what this group is trying to tell Greg, like, hey, you do have a point of being bothered or upset. You do. But the things that you're doing from that, you're just doing a bit too much. And I think that if he just take a step outside of himself to understand that, I think he would have an easier time moving forward, especially getting back with the group. I feel like it'll be easy for him. So Sweet Tea talks about wanting to support Toya's event, and she wants to go to the party. She wants to go to their anniversary, and she just feels like Toya is making them choose sides. And I think that Toya essentially has to. Toya has to choose sides because she's like, wait, listen, your partner has filed a police report on his ex's new partner. Y'all can't be in the same space at the same time. So what is she to do but choose or put parameters in place to prevent y'all from being at the events at the same time? So you're kind of making them choose, unfortunately. You kind of are. And that's the downside about the whole situation. So they're still having, this conversation. And Dr. Greg is just saying, like, he feels like the biggest issue is just a respect thing when it comes to him and King. He really feels like it all boils down to respect. And, they're starting to feel kind of iced out from the group. And, I mean, unfortunately, on the totem pole, I feel like the group has essentially sustained without you for so long. And they know Sweet Tea at this point. But they have a deeper connection with Quad, whether it's good or bad. They still have that deeper connection with her, so it's kind of natural for them to gravitate towards her a little bit more. That's it. So I think that that's something that y'all just kind of have to work on. So, T and him, they feel like they might have to step away from the group. Greg brought that up, and I don't know about y'all. I just kind of felt like I can see that happening. I can see them taking a step back. I can see them maybe not returning next season, just giving themselves a break just to kind of smooth things out, figure themselves out, and then come back maybe when they're rejuvenated, or whatever. So I think them taking a break would be honestly pretty good for them. So we head over to Toya, going to the venue to check out the event, and y'all, she got her roasted pig. And, okay, hear me out, y'all. When I go to events like that, or I see events like that on TV, when the food is out that early, I don't see no heating lamps. I don't see none of that. Is it safe to still eat? Don't get me wrong, I'm a big back, so I'm going to still risk it, baby. I'm going to give me a slice of that hog. I'm going to get a slice. I'm going to give me some ribs. But real talk, like, it just seems like the food sits out for so long. What's the code? Do the health department need to go and check this out? Because the food be sitting out for so long. I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like the bugs get on it. Y'all in and out the doors, open, flies probably just buzzing all around. I don't really think about stuff like that, but hey. But the venue looks amazing. Y'all know Toya always puts on a fabulous event. That's the one thing you have to give Toya. Toya will always throw on an amazing event. She's really, really, really good at that. So we see the couples getting ready to head to the event. We see Curtis and DrJackie getting ready. Their size difference is hilarious. And then we see DrHeavenly and Dr. Damon. Dr. Damon like, child, let's hurry up this thing. Let's go so I can get back here and watch my good TV. That's what he's giving. But what threw me off was Dr. Scott. Why was he crawling on the floor? Maybe it was something I missed. I could not understand why he was crawling on the floor. First of all, I feel like y'all rented them outfits. So if you got to take that back, that's disrespectful to the next person who got to put their body in it. That's one. And y'all got a dog, so it's probably dog hair all over that outfit. Dog hair on the outfit. You finna go to the charcuterie board, reach your hand over there, dog feathers just going everywhere. Dogs don't even got feathers, but dog feathers all over the food. See, y'all, this is why I don't do buffets and stuff. Anyway, he looked the fool, and I'm glad he changed out that purple because the purple wasn't given. I don't know what made him think purple. Which purple was the color of royals at a certain period in time, but it wasn't for this one. Anyway, so as we see them, Scott figuring out what he gonna wear, we head over to Dr. Eugene making it to the event. He got his boot on because he feel like he's super sane and want to help the man lift the thing that died or whatever. So he got his boot on. And, you know, Toya and Eugene start chatting about the era. They start having a conversation about that era. And she was like, I feel like I could have lived in this era, And he was like, Toya, you realize this is fictional. Bridgerton is not like a real thing. And she was like, no, Queen Charlotte was real. He was like, yeah, but girl, she wasn't black. Now, I have heard things that she actually was black. I don't know. I wasn't there, child. I'm young and supple. I wasn't living during them times. Toya was, apparently. She still looked good. But Toya, some of the characters, yes, it could have been inspired by real people or real events. But like the look, the feel of these people is not real, if you know what I mean. So Toya, I'm gonna say you playing because you used to be a teacher. So I'm gonna say you playing. I don't think you serious that people wasn't doing that back then. But okay, maybe one or two. It could have been a handful of people back there living good. But Toya, please, girl, please. All right. So Eugene said, he's telling Toya that he hates that Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea can't come. And, Toya drops a bomb she didn't really drop a bomb. She's just telling him, she did invite Sweet Tea. She wanted her to be there, but she doesn't know if she's coming. Now, in my notes, because I have here, I didn't know that she had that conversation with Quad. We find that out a little bit later that she did tell Quad, and they have time frames that each person is going to be there. So that was good that she did that. But because at first I was like, nah, Toya, that's a little messy. Because y'all said that y'all were supporting Quad and y'all were choosing Quad. So that's a little messy there. But she let Quad know. So that's fine. I do respect the fact that Toya's like, hey, I want everybody here. I'm going to try my best to make it work. You guys come in the beginning, y'all come at the end. So I do like that, so people are able to coexist. And I think that they should be able to coexist, right? I feel like they should be able to balance and figure that out, especially as adults. You can be in a space with somebody that you don't like and be able to be there. This particular situation is a tad bit different because there have been reports filed on one of the individuals. So it really could be that he just simply cannot film or cannot be around this individual. So that is something that's there. So we see Quad and King getting ready for the event. They're having a conversation about being around the group. This is their first time being around the group with everybody since that event happened. And they talk about the charges. King was throwing Quad shade. He was talking about when you add this crown on, is the chemicals going to have a chemical reaction to all that weave? That was good to me. But it's just really funny. Well, it's not funny. That was funny. But seeing them try to navigate this space and trying to get back into the group is very interesting. Because when you have friends that fall out, I feel like typically, like if I've had friends or I've had friends that have fallen out, I'm like, listen, we all gonna be in the same space. Y'all work it out. Work it out, figure it out. We need to move on from this. We love each other. We care about each other. Let's move on. But their situation is a lot different because that's her ex-husband. Realistically, you ain't gonna be hanging out with them like that. So it's very tricky, the whole thing. Now, in all of this, and trying to move forward and trying to figure out how the group is going to move, I hate that Toya and Dr. Eugene are having to figure this out as such an important event for them. Like, this event is for them, and I wish that everybody could just put their pride aside. Once again, I understand. But if you care about them, put your pride aside and try to figure it out to where y'all can be in this space to support them and their marriage. I think that would have been a good, noble thing to do. But on the other side, I get where they're coming from as well. So it's a tricky one, y'all. So we're seeing everybody starting to show up to the event. Everybody's looking good for the most part. Now I love the carriage ride, the horse and carriage. That was really, really nice seeing them pull up in the horse and carriage. I love that. Steve and Mimi, Dr. Mimi, they looked amazing. The um they hit the note. They hit it. They hit it. They hit it. They were dressed appropriately. They fit the times. Everything was great. They knew what they needed to do. Now Simone looked good if she was going to a quinceañera. So I agree with Toya. If she was going to a quinceañera, she would have been perfect. She was going to prom, she would have been lovely. She just would not have made it in that era, that Victorian type of era. She would miss the mark there. Um, I loved Dr. Eugene and Dr. Simone's interaction when she was talking about his boot. That was really, really funny. Now, let me tell y'all whose outfit was a play on the era, and they looked amazing. My favorite outfit of the night was Dr. Jackie. I loved Dr. Jackie's outfit. I know some people might be like, well, that didn't really fit the era. Let me tell you why it works. It was a modern play on that type of garb. Like it was beautiful. Dr. Jackie, you did that, girl. You looked great. She looked great, y'all. I loved everything about Dr. Jackie's outfit. Hit the notes. Tens. She looked great. DrContessa, you look good. We're gonna move on. So we see Greg and Sweet Tea, they arrived, and they look good. They hit the mark. Greg, that wig wasn't for you, but y'all look fine. And this caught me. I don't know if there was an issue or something happened between Mimi and Sweet Tea, but Mimi was like, the mess has arrived, the mess is here. And I was like, ooh, Mimi, what's going on there, girl? Because I thought that y'all was cool. I didn't know y'all was beefing like that. If y'all was beefing at that wedding, y'all should have been beefing at that wedding. Why would you bring it to somebody else's club? That's sad. Because if you can't go to Toya's Georgia team, where can you go? Y'all better get into that Bella Noche's. For the girls who know, no. Now, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sweet Tea and Dr. Mimi. I feel like there's a little ripple in the water there. Now, it's nice seeing them show up and support Toya, talking about Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea. It was really, really nice to see them. Now, soon after they get there, we see them pass out the Georgetown report. Or the Georgetown report. I don't know, Georgetown or Georgetown. I don't know. My notes probably messed up. My thing, because it was shady. And at first I thought DrHeavenly wrote it. But then I was like, no, because it's throwing shade at DrHeavenly. But then it was throwing shade at everybody. So who wrote that? And I see them asking Dr. Simone if she wrote it. And the part I thought was interesting because Sweet Tea was like, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people, she throws some shade out there. And then in Dr. Simone's confessional, she said something about like, Sweet Tea is still, not owning her part. It just is a little confusing because they didn't just say that Sweet Tea did that. I feel like it was something to do with Toya. I don't know who did that particular thing, but that was very interesting. Maybe it was just a production thing and they were like, hey, Sweet Tea, here you go, act like you did this. Because it was very interesting because they never really said who did that. And if Sweet Tea did that, that's interesting that she did that for Toya's event. Like, how do you know that Toya was going to do something like that? So it was very interesting, that little piece. And it was confusing. So let me know in the comments, do y'all think that Sweet Tea wrote that? Or do you think it was a production thing? Do you think it was Toya? Like, who do you think wrote that, like, kind of like Lady Whistledown Down type of note there? That was very interesting. So I don't know who did that. Now, we see Cecil, Curtis, and Dr. Greg have a conversation. And, they trying to get him to figure out, like, hey, man, are you able to move on? Are you open to dropping the charges so that we can move on and we can fix it as a group? Like, let the group fix it. And Dr. Greg acknowledges, hey, I can own my part. I'm starting to own my part. And I'm open to dropping those charges so that we can move forward as a group. I appreciate him doing that. That's a big step in the right direction. He's not the only one that owns a part in this, right? Everybody owns a part. Everybody played a part in this role, in this play, in this musical, whatever you want to call it, this Broadway production. Everybody had a main cast part in that, and I think that they need to own it. Everybody. That's from Quad. That's from Sweet Tea. That's from Dr. Greg. That's from King. Not Queen, Lord. From King. Everybody got to own their part. Everybody got to own their part on that. But it's good to see him start to own and hold himself accountable a little bit, at least a little bit. So after they have that conversation, we see that it's time for Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg to leave. Now, Contessa, you was messy, you was messy, you was messy. Because you was asking her, well, hey, do y'all want to go? Do you want to stay? And she was like, oh, no, I don't want to go. And she was like, well, why don't you just stay? And Simone saw that, and Simone was like, listen, Toya, Contessa over here trying to get the girl to stay. She got to go. She knows she got to go. Let's hurry up and wrap this thing up. So I appreciate it. I think that Contessa possibly was coming from a good place. It just wasn't the time. It wasn't the time. We said that this couple was going to leave so the next couple could come in. We need to get them out the building. They already know they're supposed to go. Get them out the building because it's way too soon for us to be doing this. So, after they have that conversation, we see. Hold on, wait, y'all. Where am I at? Where am I at my notes? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, okay. I'm good. All right. So it's good that we see them. We good. They want to say it's nice. We love to see that. We love all that good stuff. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But y'all gotta go. So we see Dr. Heavenly arrive with Dr. Damon. And Dr. Heavenly, I loved Dr. Heavenly's look. It really was young Queen Charlotte from Queen Charlotte on Netflix. If y'all have seen it, it's really, really, really good. Like, really good. Probably one of my favorite of the Bridgerton thing, but whatever. But Heavenly looks great. So when Heavenly come in, y'all know, Heavenly, one thing she's going to do, she's going to break up the scene. Heavenly is hilarious. Sometimes she does too much, and we're going to talk about that. But Heavenly is hilarious. Because when they were introducing them and everybody to come down the stairs, and Heavenly's like, hold on now, who put this here on the stage? First of all, the walkthrough was so narrow. Like, there was no way for the couples to walk down together. And if you have a cumbersome gown on, it's going to be difficult. So it was just really, really, really funny. So as that's happening, we see Quad and King walk in, and they have on purple. I didn't like it. I didn't like their outfits. It was too costumey for me. But as they're doing that, I feel like this was kind of like a little throwaway scene when they started talking about Phaedra. So we see Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone having a conversation about them trying to get Phaedra to come to the event. And, it was a lost cause, y'all. Like, she doesn't want to be around this group. We already know what she at. She's done. We're going to move on to the next thing because it just doesn't. We already know what's going on over there. So when Eugene gave the speech about him and Toya's marriage, I really enjoyed that. Like, their love for each other is so great. And I know that we give Toya and Eugene a hard time sometimes about their relationship, but they have a great relationship that works for them. They have a great relationship that works for them. They seem to be happy. They seem to have a beautiful household. They have 2 beautiful children, and they're growing. They're thriving. So I hope everything goes up from here for them. I think that they're great. So yeah, shout out to them. So as that's starting to wrap up, they give you say our dues and I love you and whatever. We see Curtis. Curtis was over there getting started. He was being messy with the men, and he's filling them in on what Dr. Greg said and him possibly dropping the charges. So it's King, Cecil, Dr. Scott, Dr. Damon, Curtis, and Cecil, over there. Maybe Eugene. I don't know if Eugene was over there or not. So all of the guys are over there for the most part. Dr. Scott as well. I mean, Steve. He ain't no Dr. Hell. Y'all know what I mean. So we see all of them having a conversation. And they're saying that Dr. Greg was open to them working it out as a group. I love that they were open to that. One thing I got to give King his props. King was open to moving forward. King was open to moving past it. I love that. King is really, really a cool guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems really cool from the interactions that we've seen for him for the most part. He seems like an even keel guy. He just doesn't play by nobody disrespecting his woman. I get it. So I think that King is ready to move forward. Dr. Greg is ready to move forward. Hopefully Quad is in a place to move forward. But we soon find out that she's not, because Simone is having a similar conversation with the ladies, and Quad is not here for it. Quad wants them to put themselves in her shoes. I understand where Quad is coming from. Understand her perspective. This is my ex. I don't live there no more. I don't want to be associated with him. I don't understand why he decided to come back to this group knowing that I was here and want to come back to the friend group and be a part of this show. Realistically, it just doesn't make sense, Dr. G. Like, I get where you're coming from, man. You want to hang out with them. Let me stop saying I get where you're coming from. Hell, I don't get where you're coming from. I don't want to be around my ex like that. If I know that my ex is still on the show that I used to be on, I don't want to be there unless I have to be there, if that makes sense. Because if you are good on funds if you really want your relationship to thrive and you don't want to put your spouse who is trying to have a baby in a stressful situation, I wouldn't have brought her back to that group. I wouldn't have let them do that to her. Because you know what this is about to be. She doesn't. You do. So I think that Dr. G, you got to own this a little bit, bro. Like, you shouldn't have come back to the show. Let's be real about it. Now, Toya feels like Quad is trying to make them choose, and I feel like she does. And when Quad was like, listen, y'all can lose me. Y'all don't have to choose me. Do what y'all feel like y'all have to do. But I don't want to be in the presence of my ex. She's well within her right like that. They're well within their right to want to still hang out with him. So I get both parts on it, but man, come on now. Like, let's be real. No one will want to hang around their ex like that. And we really got to own that. Now, one thing I love about Heavenly is two things I love about her. Heavenly gonna ride for her friends. If it's somebody that she care about, she gonna ride for them till the wheels fall off. And I'm very similar. I'm gonna ride for you. If you my people and I care about you, I'm gonna ride for you and I'm gonna make sure you good. But the thing with Heavenly is sometimes she just go too hard. Baby, when Heavenly just got the cuss and she got the going off, I was like, whoa, 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 now, whoa, Heavenly. We with you, girl, but doggone, dang, girl. They cursing at their mamas in Spain. You ain't have to curse us out like that. Calm down. Baby, Heavenly went in. It was just like, okay, Heavenly, calm down a little bit, baby. Calm down. But I'm glad to see her riding for her friends. And, you know, this conversation comes to an end and she's just like, listen, Simone is like, you know, we are back to a fractured group. And I love them. They was like, child, this group been fractured. It's still fractured. But I will say, they've been fractured, but they never been to a place to where, well, no, they have, actually. Because I think anyway, they've been fractured before. They've been through this. They'll get through it. I think that it is going to be some choices between some people staying and some people going. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see, it's not that I don't see them hanging out with the group. I just don't foresee Dr. G and Sweet Tea coming back. I just don't. Like, seeing a lot of the things that she's posted online, I don't think that she's willing to come back to this show. I don't think that she really has any true friends anymore on the show. So I don't foresee her coming back to the show, unfortunately. I enjoyed some of the things that Sweet Tea brought, but I don't see her coming back, y'all. So let's see. We'll weigh it out. We'll see what next season brings. But y'all, that is the end of Married to Medicine. Now, we do have the reunion still coming up for Married to Medicine, so I'm looking forward to that. But that is going to be our review on episode 15 of Married to Medicine. Now, we still have Real Housewives of Atlanta coming out. I'm going to drop it today. I'm going to do it today. And then, so we can just chill for the rest of the week. And I will see y'all next week. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share with a family member, share with a friend, share with the person next to you at the cubicle. And we're going to keep this train on its tracks. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all next time.